James Comey calls the president a mob boss in that upcoming 2020 interview. And according to the Washington Post, he writes in his new book that the interacting with Trump gave him, quote, flashbacks to my earlier career as a prosecutor against the mob, the silent circle of assent, the boss in complete control, the loyalty oaths, the us versus them worldview, the lying about all things large and small in service to some code of loyalty that put the organization above morality and above the truth. He knows about being above the truth, all right. So what are we to make of this forthcoming tell-all and the breathless interview dropping this Sunday? Is this the work of a modern-day patriot or more sour grapes from a chorus of haters? Joining me now, it's comedian Dennis Miller. Hey, Dennis.
Kennedy, bravo. You just did Comey like Buffalo Bill did moths. So bravo. I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
I think that James Comey should remember that when people look up to him, it's about height, and it's not about stature, Jim. Quite frankly, you've been used by both parties. You've been passed around like a joint at Sunsplash. Whenever they need you,
maybe that's why his book is called Higher Loyalty.
There it is, highest loyalty. He, you know, whoever needs him. I've heard everybody who decries him say they love him. Then, you know, I'm writing a book actually with him of my own called Tuesdays with Comey, where I go to meet with him every Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday he completely changes his story, sliding it back and forth. So, listen, as far as James Comey goes, I haven't trusted the FBI since J. Edgar Hoover was wearing Mary Quant, so this doesn't surprise me.
Okay. It's sad. Like, it's not even amusing because he went before Congress twice last year, and they asked him pointed questions. Some of them, like Chuck Grassley, when he asked about leaking stories or allowing people to leak stories, Comey lied through his teeth. That's very problematic. And then, you know, you hear about the people watching the Stephanopoulos interview, and their jaws were on the floor because they couldn't believe what he was saying. And it's like, if these are such bombshells, if the country is in such distress, then why on earth are you waiting until you enrich yourself by writing a book?
Oh, I don't think James Comey's a strong man. I don't think he's a strong, principled man. I'm always, these guys are always set up as being, you know, to me, our leaders, or these guys who pretend to be our leaders, are in charge. They're not something to aspire to. To me, I wouldn't hire James Comey to do anything in my life except maybe head the FBI. I mean, would you have him mow your lawn? Of course you wouldn't. Would you put him in any position that would affect your bottom line? Of course you would. So oftentimes when they say, like, guys like Mueller and Comey are like the monolith in 2001, I'm supposed to fall down and pass out, I just don't find them all that principled a man. I know now with Mueller they're going to tell me, no, he's the most principled man ever. I just don't see people in politics or in investigations of politics, anything like that. To me, it's a big BS fest. Yeah,
and it's all about him, but you make a really good point. He in the moment, didn't say anything to the president or to Loretta Lynch. He didn't push back. If his sensibilities were so offended, and, you know, he was a U.S. prosecutor. You know, here's someone who knows how to grill another person. He knows how to elicit obvious guilt and admissions of that, and he was unable to steel his spine and say, you know what, Mr. President, you're crossing a line here, and I think that's wrong. Instead, he's got his little notebook and, like, wrote things down. Ooh, I was offended by that. He's really worse than Putin and Kim Jong-un.
Well, does he know how to interrogate people? That's what I'm saying. I always hear these narratives, and I think, well, what do I know about James Comey except a lot of guys who rise that high? It's the easy sliding of their ethics from side to side whenever it serves them to rise that high. So I'd like to tell you that he gets in there and he's like Rudy Giuliani when he leaned in on the mom. I don't know that. All I know about Comey is he seems to live his life to go down narrow hallways under towers of power with a half grin on his face and receive his people while he's photographed. He looks like he enjoys it too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. At least Mueller, I'll give Mueller that. I don't even know what his voice sounds like, kind of. You know, I also, you know, I think the Mueller investigation is, quite frankly, doesn't hold Watergate, but I don't know that much about him. Whereas Comey, well, can I tell you something about Jim Comey and Robert Mueller? Where Mueller has lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. Comey's only seen, sorry, Patty Duke show song.
Nice.
But I just think some of these guys are in it for the entertainment value, and Comey looks like one of those guys.
Yeah, you know what? It's the lowest rung on the entertainment ladder. Comey comes off like a clown. Dennis Miller, thank you so much. I love talking to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.